Stop! Sure you want the rest of it?
Dirty Harry Minute. Dirty Harry Minute. Dirty Harry Minute Podcast. Dirty Harry Minute Podcast.
Every penny's worth it.
Welcome to Dirty Harry Minute, the only podcast in the world to review every minute of 1971 Warner Brothers classic Dirty Harry, starring Clint Eastwood, from minute 0 to 98. I'm your host, John, and joined with me are...
Tim.
That's the sound of his voice.
Trent,
and...
Glyn.
Glyn, you're our first guest. Welcome.
Hooray.
Are you scared?
Not at all. You guys are a friendly bunch.
Do you know
So
what
far?
these podcasts are about?
No. Is it about going into too much detail
Exactly.
about movies?
Not for the real fans.
Yeah.
I am a real fan. I have been for many years. And yourself, Glyn? Have you...
A real fan of Dirty Harry or a real fan of
Dirty
fandom?
Harry or Clint?
Yeah, I guess Clint is all right. Like, maybe you should talk to chairs less, but
Very topical.
yeah, like, he's a great director, and his whole grouchy stoic thing is kind of hilarious.
Now, when do you first think you saw Dirty Harry?
That is a good question. Probably noughties, in the early noughties.
Relatively late.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I would have seen it. I think my buddy Luke, you know Luke, he would have shown it to me for the first time. Like, I'd probably seen like bits of it on TV, but I'd never just been like, that looks like old people stuff. You know, where are the laser swords and all those sorts
I
of
think
stuff.
when you're young and you hear the name Dirty Harry, it kind of comes across as a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, why is he dirty? And then you see it, and it's like clearly not dirty. He looks like he's clean.
He showers. Yeah.
So
There's 3 points in the movie they try and discover why he's named that.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if any of them are satisfactory.
Yeah.
And you, Trent, when did you first see Dirty Harry?
I would have, I would have been about 10, and part of the appeal was that it had that diamond R certificate on it, because it was one of the first films to be classified R in Australia that, you know, wasn't an obvious horror film or sex film. So it was kind of like, oh, geez, this must be really intense. So I remember watching it and it blew my mind. But yeah.
Right. And Tim, you and I think, well, I first saw it in film and TV studies in year 10. You weren't in that, but that's the first time I'd seen even a Clint Eastwood movie.
What, they showed it to you in class?
They showed it to us in class, our teacher, over 2 or 3 lessons, and it was
Wow.
great.
An R-rated film.
Yeah, I don't know how he got around that. And as you know, we made our own parody of Dirty Harry at school that you helped with. So this very next minute we're about to talk to is very topical to us. Shall we begin reviewing the movie, Glyn?
let us, yes.
Well, minute 1, we've just watched again, begins with an old-school Warner Brothers logo and then ends with a hint of something blurry on the bottom left of the screen. Will we find out what it is? Well, your first impressions, Glyn?
Well, I mean, so there's the weird Warner Brothers logo, and the blue background's nice. It's very pretty. But as like my thing is like, what the hell is it the Kinney Company?
Kinney Company, yeah.
What the hell is Kinney? Why is Warner Brothers a Kinney Company?
Another one that has that is A Clockwork Orange, because it came out the same year.
year,
That's the, I'm trying to remember what else they released in 71. But yeah, I can't remember what... I'll look up what they are in a sec. But yeah, they just bought Warner Brothers, and then it became... It was First National Warner Brothers, I think, or something before that.
Yeah. Wasn't First National a bank or something?
And then I think Magnum has a even different logo at the start.
Yeah.
And what about, I always forget Golf and Western, that was Universal, same
Paramount.
story. Paramount, yeah.
Yeah.
They owned morgues and car parking lots and then
What the
decided
snake?
equity put it, yeah.
The Kinney were the Kinney Parking Company,
Ah.
National Cleaner Contractors. So yeah,
Kinney. Just like
How do you
Clint's.
go from like, oh yeah, we have parking lots, and then we started out in cleaning, and then we decided to buy a movie studio.
Well, Clint's cleaning up the streets and they're cleaning up the...
Well, maybe they get asked to, paid a lot of money to be able to allow the film crew on set to their parking lot.
True that.
it's funny. The later Warner Brothers logo from later in the decade looked a bit like the Wilson parking here in Australia.
That's what I was
The
going to
same
say,
thing,
yeah.
like the three lines that make up the W. So
Okay. Yeah. Maybe they've still got some of that parking company DNA there.
maybe.
Yeah.
It's funny though, on later reissues of that film, that's been removed. It's got the more recent Warner Brothers logo. At least the VHS one did. But
Yeah, I'd never seen it until Tim and I saw it in London, I think 2008, some reprint.
yeah.
What's this? They put on the right spool.
Well, so that was from the Blu-ray, so I guess they got the old... they normally like get the old print and then do a scan and a digital restoration, which is awesome. I like it. I like Blu-ray.
So you were thrown for the first few seconds, but then...
No, not really thrown. It was just like, that's a bit weird. And then my whole thing was just like, what is the Kinney Company? But I didn't look it up because I thought it would be more fun discussing it rather than actually... Who wants answers these days? Really. The discussion is way more fun.
Now, did anyone happen to catch some of the names on the Roll of Honour that appears next?
I actually did just notice one then.
What was it?
The first name. Mm-hmm. There was like one of them later down that for some reason made me laugh a little bit, but the first one is funnier, and that's John Coots. And I just like the name that the first name... He's a Coots.
He's an old Coots.
Yeah.
He's
He's
like
an
18
old, yeah,
something.
exactly. Yeah, he's the oldest of the Coots.
Some very old names on there. There was Cornelius and names that you don't associate with a policeman these days.
Yeah.
I noticed the deaths seemed to peak around 1915. I don't know what's up with that. And then 1955.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Jesus.
World War One was happening and there was like a crime spree or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, there you go. Warner Brothers' East of Eden movie has the profiteers growing the fruit, the profiteers during war. So maybe some of the cops went up down the valley.
It does seem like a good time to undertake a criminal enterprise is during wartime.
One of the other names there was Nutman. Who
What?
we will soon see in the film.
Hang on. And now
Nutman.
You mean Nutman? Yeah. It's like it's just, the name is Nutman. It's like first name Nut, last name Man.
Put into sharp relief the most recent by-election in Batman. Everyone wants to pronounce it Batman, but that's not how it
Well,
flies.
that would be awesome.
This is a Melbourne Australian podcast, by the way, isn't it, Tim?
It is indeed. I was going to say, so when I first saw that scroll on the, you call it a memorial, I think my memory of seeing that was like it was about to say this is based on a true story. Because like, I thought it would scroll down and then like stop on a name saying Harry something, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Of course, when we were making our parody Dirty Larry, we'll put a link in the show notes, we found a similar memorial to the fallen in World War II near our school, and there was a Callahan in there.
That's cool. Yeah. Hey, Dirty Larry.
Yeah.
So how could you... Did anyone, of course, make the like the Leisure Suit Larry connection?
I'd not thought about that.
No, but they should have.
I know.
Damn straight they should have.
How could they have missed that? Yeah. So the names, I don't know. See, I of course downloaded a pirated version of no, piracy's bad, kids. Don't pirate things ever.
You mean it was a remake with pirates?
That's exactly, yeah. Hey, I tried looking on Netflix and Stan. It's like, so I was watching it in VLC and I accidentally pressed the wrong button and watched it in like double speed for a little while. And there's
like
something...
many are listening to this podcast.
Yeah. And I remember that when you watch the start of it in high speed, it makes it strangely hilarious because it kind of looks like they're being flippant about the dead cops almost. It's just like, yeah, here's some dead cops. Just get over it. Like, so I kind of enjoyed that a bit. And then the Lilo Schifrin soundtrack in Fast, like when you...
We've got another 98 episodes of this show, and it's such a big part of the movie, I think we need to establish it's Lalo, isn't it?
Lilo Schifrin.
Lalo.
I'm always wondering, like, is it Lilo or Lalo? But who cares? The guy's freaking awesome.
There is some great music there, isn't there, Tim?
It's fantastic.
I don't even like jazz. Afro style or fusion.
He's Argentinian, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
And was he already established by this film?
Mission Impossible, the TV series.
That was the first one.
I think
first
that was
big...
And
Yeah.
Bullet just 2 years beforehand,
Yeah. What else? He did the Enter the Dragon soundtrack as well.
Yeah, a few years later. Yeah.
Oh, he's done a horror movie or two as well.
Yeah.
Amityville, I think.
Possibly,
I've not
yeah.
seen it.
Is he still alive?
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's still kicking.
kicking.
Yeah. I think he actually, there was an album released a couple of years ago of his, like, I think it was mostly old stuff, but there was some new stuff as well. But yeah, he's amazing. I'm kind of a little bit obsessed with him, actually.
He came out here
Yeah,
in the
I think
last
I remember
decade
that.
or so.
Yeah.
I'm really annoyed I didn't go and see him.
Me too.
He started in the 1950s, and yeah, Mission Impossible: Enter the Dragon, 5 Grammy, 6 Oscar nominations. I'm just seeing. Sorry, keep talking.
Name to look out for, folks. Well, I think it's a great introduction with just, I don't know what's about to unfold in the next few minutes, but it's straight in there. It's great. Some people have said the Roll of Honor is a bit conventional. It's like a piety of an old era, maybe some sort of Warner Brothers type dedication to policemen. And it's got the old-fashioned song called, apparently, "Oh God, Our Help Is in Ages Past."
What?
Yeah, the bell ringing, you know.
That's a song name?
Yeah, I think so.
Snappy.
It's an old hymn.
That is snappy.
How did you find that out?
On another podcast, which we won't mention, but thank you.
Was that a Lalo arrangement of that, or
I don't believe so. I think it's library, but we'll look into
just,
that.
it's just bells chiming?
Bells chiming, yeah.
Sorry, just to chime in, pardon the pun, really quickly. Cool Hand Luke, he did the music for, which has
sweet, yeah.
some of the music in that is very notable because it's been used on, I think in America, CBS Nightly News for the last 50 years, and here in Australia, Channel 9 News. That's a rip-off of, I can't remember which scene in Cool Hand Luke it is, but yeah, anyway, very notable.
In some investigation of Don Siegel's earlier work, I noticed he's had a movie called The Lineup in 1958, and at the end they dedicate the movie to the grateful help of the San Francisco Police Department.
Maybe he's just into the San Francisco Police Department. Maybe that's just his jam, you know? I assume he's a San Francisco dude if he's... Because the whole
he's New
movie's
York,
kind of...
East Coast, I would think.
Oh, okay. Because it's, you know, the whole movie he's kind of obsessed with San Francisco, clearly, so I like it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
But more than that, I love the music.
Yes, I mean, that's the whole opening of the movie is all about music. I mean, the whole movie's about music, really. Like, it's essentially Lalo Schifrin and Clint Eastwood being stoic. Like, that is Dirty Harry, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and so that first beat, and then
Yeah,
it
yeah.
leads on to the sniper rifle.
Yeah.
It's such a cool...
It's delicious.
shot.
And it's got the wailing female backing vocals, which
Yeah,
people
like,
said the crazy voices in Scorpio's
Yeah, yeah.
head.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think the
Those
other...
jazz drum fills. Stop start.
Yeah.
Just gets better as well.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what you-
unfortunately for people of, like, our generation watching this on VHS, it was all, like, cropped to the old TV aspect ratio, and so you don't get that widescreen vision of, like basically the whole film, kind of, like, chopped in half.
Yeah. So I can't stand... Oh, I'm so glad that they at least don't do that with Blu-rays and DVDs, because I hate that all chopping off.
It's kind of funny how they just forced it on everyone.
Yeah.
Like in the
No one
early
noticed.
Yeah.
Well, not no one, but a lot of it was just like, oh yeah, well that's just how they're played.
Well, there are even some people that will complain. Like,
I think,
about
like,
black
originally,
bars.
Yeah.
especially the older people, maybe.
Oh, sorry,
might have said, "What are these black bars?"
Yeah, they're like, I
Yeah.
paid for a whole screen. I want to see the whole screen. Like,
Yeah.
But, you know, now we've all got widescreen TVs. so-
It's not noticeable.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I meant when the pan and scanning happened,
Oh, yes.
like on television,
Yeah.
because everyone was used to saying,
Yeah.
Must be in there if, it's filling the box.
Yeah. And I love it when you would actually sometimes see the noticeable pan across, like
yeah.
in a shot, and it looked so weird and janky, and it was terrible. Yeah.
It's best during opening credits. They're my favourite pan and scan shots. Where
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see half the words on the screen.
Oh, you know, actually, this screened on free-to-air TV a few weeks ago, and they had the opening in widescreen up until the point where... Oh, we'll come to it later, but basically the opening credits, and then it just went to the pan and scan.
Really?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
2008.
Yeah,
That's
they do that with a
unbelievable.
lot of movies. Like, most movies don't show in widescreen, and when they do it, they like make a big deal. Like when they showed Lawrence of Arabia in full widescreen, they're like, in full.
Yeah, they used to do
Or perhaps
presentations.
now it's not quite pan and scan, they just fill it for the different, like the widescreen TV.
Yeah, they just zoom in.
Yeah, so it's
ridiculous.
still
Yeah.
zoomed in, but...
I just always blame Channel 9, but I suppose every every
No,
network
let's
would
keep
do
it. Let's keep it. Blame Channel 9. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. That sounds good.
They've had the Warner Brothers product too easily for all these years, haven't they, Trent?
I don't know if they still have it.
No.
I think it's gone to...
All the Eastwood stuff anyway.
Yeah,
seem to be-
No, everything's switching around.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I saw a Rain Man on SBS, and I was thinking that would like 20 years ago that would have never happened.
Because Channel 7 used to have the
Yeah.
MGM UA library,
Yeah,
and it's all the Fox stuff is going to 7 now, and
This is
9.
what the internet and Netflix does.
Yeah.
Just devalues everything to the point where no one cares.
It's free for all.
Yep, I say bring it. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it devalues a lot of the old stuff, and I just think that it's actually doesn't ruin the value.
No, it doesn't. It improves accessibility, actually.
Yeah,
which is good.
and that's kind of the frustration with it, is that they sort of complain about costs, but it's like digital distribution saves you a packet. It's ridiculous. And so to me, the whole thing is that if you're not going to pass on your savings to your customers when your costs are reduced, then you can't really get angry at your customers kind of giving you the finger. Like,
No.
that's the whole thing with digital cinemas and stuff like that. It's like, it's cheaper, and you've got a bunch of kids, they just press a button on a freaking server now. You don't have to have a projectionist.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of projections,
yeah.
what are you projecting, Glyn, onto this woman in a yellow bathing suit?
Well, so I've got my notes here. So the first thing I have to say is, before we see the woman in the bell so you got the shot of the silencer on the front, and of course, because I'm a freaking nerd, I have to of course comment that there is no such thing as silencers. It is a suppressor, and those things don't actually make guns go pew! Like, that's not how it freaking works. Like, they were made so you could essentially use guns indoors without damaging your ears.
Right.
But yeah, there's all these great videos of guys like online, and it's like, this is what a gun sounds like. And it's like, yeah, it lowers the decibel range quite a bit, but it's like, you can still hear it. Yeah. So the whole thing about he is shooting from a rooftop. I know, I'm a nerd. He is shooting from a rooftop though, so I guess by reducing the noise and wanting to do that is potentially a good idea, because it makes it harder. It's harder for people to spot him.
When I rewatched this minute just yesterday, I noticed they did a good job of mixing the soundtrack and the source wind at the set. That was very good.
I never noticed that
Nor
until
had I,
this time. I was amazed I could hear the ambient sound. On the VHS edition I was used to from the 80s and 90s, you could not hear it. It was just the music, and that was it.
And background hiss.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
From the great height.
It worked.
Did you notice when the girl goes to jump in the pool, she sort of... I think she's the only one on the floor. Did you have a look? The only one on the top deck, on the roof.
Yeah.
She seems to... When she's on her own, she can do what she wants. She's an autonomous lady, but she just looks a bit apprehensive about jumping in the pool. But
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's like the first time you jump in a pool, it always is a bit like, oh shit, because it's going to be cold. You know what I mean? And that looks like it's early morning. I mean, like, a film sets, whenever you listen to people talk about film sets, they're either like insanely hot or insanely cold, and you're shooting at 6 o'clock in the morning. And so, she's probably in a swimsuit, and she's probably just thinking, oh, this is going to suck. So
Maybe she wasn't sure if the cameras were rolling as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Good
they were on
point.
another building.
I think later on you see maybe her bath row lover in the next scene gouching down. I think they'll come to that in the next minute.
Yeah.
I can imagine it being quite the thing to have a pool on a roof in a hotel those days.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be awesome. Well, I think it's probably
Wealthy lady.
I think it's probably pretty common
Now I would imagine.
but in San Francisco, even in those days, I reckon it was pretty common. But you were asking about like what? So the thing that strikes me straight away is that her swimsuit looks like it's freaking crocheted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
a bit woolly.
I've just got this image of like an old lady crocheting a swimsuit for this model. Yeah.
Do we know who that actress is?
I'm
She
looking
comes
her
or
up
anything?
now.
Yeah, I think she was a model or something. Like,
Diana
she's-
Davidson.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the Australian...
Oh, hang on. Was she the one that was married? She was married to Clint Eastwood first or something?
don't think so. I don't know. I'm looking up...
In the infancy of IMDb in 98, 99, I remember as soon as I saw this movie, I looked up everyone's entries.
Yeah.
And I was one of the girls is Fackler's wife in Police Academy, right? Yeah, and Mary Deacon. And Mary Deacon.
What?
And in my mind, I got that confused for all the years. I thought she was the same woman that she's not quite as pretty, who jumps in the pool and is shot by Scorpio later on.
Yeah.
IMDb, as usual, has got things mixed up in that they've got this actress who's not credited in the film, she's uncredited, but they've got her mixed in with this Australian actress, Diana Davidson, but I'll have to have a look at that. Yeah. So God knows what else she's done. Diana, if you're listening, please contact us and give us a rundown of your resume.
That sounds totally reasonable that she would be listening right now. And yes, please tell us more about your swimsuit, your lovely crocheted swimsuit.
I don't think the future bodes well for her. This minute is just ending now with something blurry on the bottom left of the screen, which Glyn has told us is a rifle, a high-precision sniper rifle.
Well, it's a suppressor. Well, it's the front of the gun, and then then yellow swimsuit, and then of course the shot.
You heard it first. I think that might happen the next minute.
Yeah, the unrealistic.
Well, I think that's as good a point to end as any. Thank you for joining me, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trent.
Thank you, John.
And Glyn, will you return for the next
Of course.
minute?
Yeah, it was fun, man. Yeah.
You've been listening to Dirty Harry's Minute. Dirty Harry.